Hello everyone, welcome back to Old Dad's Smiling Mess. And in today's video, we're talking weld beads. Yeah, got some good ones, like these, and then you got some bad ones, like these. So, I know I've got a video out on how to do the night shift ones with the Tamiya putty, and real quick disclaimer here, I was actually recording this live, but all of a sudden we had a thunderstorm go by, and when I was doing the editing for this, it actually you could hear it. It was bad. And then as soon as that, we had a train go by. So I'm doing a voiceover. So if my hands and movements and talking aren't all lined up, yeah, that's why. So, weld beads. We all know that there's two different main ways to do it. You can either use styrene rod like this, which is 0.5 millimeters. It's actually thinner than the lead on that pencil. Or you can do night shifts thing with the Tamiya putty noodles. Those are the two most used ones. Now, you could be like me where you try all sorts of stuff, but, you know, I've tried the little piece of metal bent. I've tried using my razor knife, and I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten so lazy that I've used my chisels too. Okay, but if you really want to be super cool and stuff like that, I found something today that might be kind of neat. Now, as you can see next to my thumb that was moving, the white, that is the styrene rod, and then next to it is the Tamiya putty. Okay. I used the chisel for that, and it came out decent. It's not night shift level, trust me. Okay, but it's there. Okay, and I've even went as far as to 3D print some weld beads, and they turned out pretty damn good. But here's another issue. Not everybody has, wants, or can afford a 3D printer. For me, I have it, so I've messed around and I've made them. And as you can see, they have the little ridges in them and stuff just like that. But today, I was watching a video, and I watched this guy use styrene rod. And he did the little thing where he just do. It kind of looked like a Chef Dyson something, as fast as he did it in his video, and they came out looking damn near as good as night shifts. Okay, but I'm just like, there's just no way. I mean, he cut it to length perfectly. He glued it on there. He immediately took the extra thin, put on there, used his knife, did it, came out looking gorgeous, and yeah. But as you all know, my build table, it's out in my garage. That's why, I fight with wasps, and, there's a spider or something or whatever crawls across the desk. But as I was walking in the house today on my back porch, I found something, and nothing big, nothing major or anything like that. But having watched the video and messing around with weld beads, I was, because I went in there and I tried it. I found something that's just completely off the wall, and I think it's going to surprise all of you. Okay, but I found a piece of thread. Yep, thread. Well, how can you use that as weld bead? Let me show you. Thread is woven together, correct? We all know that. Cool. Okay. And this is what it looks like, right? You can see the weaves. Looks good, Okay, well, how's that look anything like a weld bead? It doesn't really. You know, it doesn't. But what happens when you tighten it? Oh yeah. Now you see where I'm going with this. Okay, well, how can you keep it tight like that without... Simple. I'll show you that here in a second. Now, there is, again, styrene, Tamiya putty, and thread. I think that looks pretty damn good. And if you ever watch Night Shift, we all know Weld Beads have different shapes and looks and all that, okay? But most of his is consistent, okay? It looks almost perfect, okay? So, how do I get that? Well, you take the thread, and as you see there, as you twist it, the weaves get tighter and tighter and tighter, which look really similar to Weld Beads, now don't they? And there's the secret right there. Super glue. I watch how I do this. I just take the string, and the easiest way to do this is you pre-wind it before you add the super glue. This way here, if it's wet, you don't notice it. Okay? You don't notice how close everything is. And I'm trying to show you here, I'm trying desperately so you can see how tight that weave is. And it's just not happening. Okay? So, tighten it up some more and gauge it to what the Weld Beads look like on your kit, or what you want them to look like. Now you take the super glue and you just put it on there, and you notice the baby wipe there. It's dry. I just wipe the excess off. And what's cool is you still can't really see it because it's out of focus, damn it. But it's hardened, right? So now you have something that is stiff, can be fit into the groove, and look how tight that is. Those look like Weld Beads. Another cool part about this is, guess what? Yeah, no fraying, and you can cut it to whatever size you want. And I know you guys are wondering or thinking, that's just a little crazy, old dad. Well, let me show you on this Sherman, okay? Because as you've seen in the first pictures, the Weld Beads that are molded in look like horseshit. It looks like somebody took the hot end of a ballpoint pen and just dabbled along a line, and they just look absolutely trash. I mean, this is that Airfix kit, so, you know, Airfix normally has decent detail, and I mean, those aren't Weld Beads. Those are just whatever. I put the armor texturing on it. I glued some stuff on the front of it, just like it would be if you were building it up, okay? So you've got the front end done. You see the molded on ones. Now here's my Weld Beads with the thread. I think those look 1,000 times better than that. Okay? And as I was saying earlier, Night Shift's Weld Beads are really, really, you know, they're almost identical. They keep the same, you know, path and everything like that, you know. I mean, they're really consistent. They're really nice and close to each other, all that good stuff and everything. And it's, you know, none of these tanks actually look like that. They have multiple passes, okay, but you just can't get a 1/35th scale weld bead to fit in that groove there, because, you know, there's actually multiple of them. It's just not feasible. So they got that 1/35th, and then they just fill that in with what looks like a weld bead, which is fine, and it does its job, okay. But most of us want that to look decent. And that whole long piece there, that's all one piece. Now the 4 little pieces that come off aren't, but that one, that's just one long bead. That's just a piece of thread wound up, super glue on it, put right in there, fit in there. All I did was I took my chisel set there and I grooved out the molded in weld on all of it. And believe it or not, that is being held in with Tamiya extra thin cement, because each weld seam on every model is going to be different sized. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to make this, when you twist it, you want to make it to where it's just a little bit bigger than the groove that it's going in. And then you take, once you have your thread done and your grooves all cleared out, you take your Tamiya extra thin and you put that on there and put 2 or 3 good coats in there. You want to see it nice and wet and shiny. And then you take your thread and you just start setting it in there. And then if you have a piece that's sticking up out of the groove, you just use your hobby knife and push it down in there. And with the plastic being softened and sticky, it sticks to the thread, which is super glued, and poof, there you go. It's glued in there. And this here, just so you can see again just how quick this works, okay, so you don't have to wait, however long it is for your Tamiya putty to harden up enough that you can do everything with. Same with even using styrene, because you gotta wait for everything to soften up. You just take your string, tighten it up, put your super glue on it, just slide it right down there just like that, wipe off the excess, poof, and voila, now you have a, it's that fast. I really think that's absolutely amazing. Now, it's also soft enough that you can bend it too. So, that's actually, I think, this was one of those happy accident, that's so dumb, it just might work thing. I mean, but as you've seen the results, I think they look actually pretty damn good. I mean, you're going to get that little groove in there. So when you do your pin washes and weathering and stuff like that, you're going to get that texture from that, in that weld bead look. And so, I mean, that's what everybody wants. They want it to look somewhat decent. Now the weld beads that are on this Panther kit actually aren't all that bad. They're really not. As I said, those aren't bad, but again, this kit here I was just using for testing stuff, and it was there. I wanted to be able to do a big section of it so you guys could get a good view of how it would look if you did the whole thing. So that's why I did the Sherman like that. I'm not working on the Sherman or nothing. That was just so you guys could see. But you don't have to wait for the styrene rod to soften up. You ain't got to wait for the Tamiya putty to start to harden up and all that good stuff. And it works. So, as always, guys, if you like this sort of stuff, please don't be afraid. Drop a like and a comment down below in the comments section. Even if you're roasting me over this, I don't know if this has ever been done or not. I really don't. I looked on YouTube and I've never seen anything about it, so I'm assuming this is the first time it's been on YouTube. I mean, I know what happens when you assume, okay, but regardless, if you guys want to roast me, do it in the comments. I'm ready, okay? If you're not already, consider subscribing. This helps the channel grow, gives me more opportunity to do silly, crazy, stupid stuff like this, buy more kits, make more videos, put content out for you guys. And the best part is it's free. It's free, except for the notification when I post new videos. So, hey, there's that. Also, down in the comments below, is the link for Discord. Join it. It's also free. Come in, hang out with us, bullshit, post pictures of your work. Can't stress enough. We have amazing builders in there. Their stuff is just that damn good. Join up just to come look at theirs. Okay, it's that good. And the best part is, Discord is just like subscribing to YouTube. It's free. Doesn't cost you nothing. Except for a notification, when we post a new video or somebody mentions something like that. So, there's no excuse not to join or subscribe. Right? So, with all that said, until next week, guys, I will see you later. Bye-bye.